Hi, I'm going to show you how to use the built-in web-based recording tool called the Spreaker console to not only record your podcast, but to mix in some sounds and sound effects if you would like to do so. So you'll begin by scrolling once you get signed up and registered by going to Create and then going to the Spreaker's console and selecting Record. You'll then be prompted to give your track a title, which you can always edit later. And for right now, just go ahead and select Next. And this will bring up the web-based console. You may be asked if you want to enable the microphone, so go ahead and select Allow. And depending on your computer and browser, it may take just a minute to bring up the console. And now we're in that recording console. So right here is my microphone. And the deck is where you can load different files. For your playlist, you can bring in different pieces of music to drag into the recording deck and to mix in. You can also use the Sound FX pad to add special effects. Let's take a look at this Sound FX panel or pad and take a look at how to add sounds here. So when you press the Sound FX and press Add, you can search for existing sound effects that might be available, and there are not a lot, but just enough that might help you do what you need to do. So again, you can kind of browse and use the numbers to see what's available. So I can add that and have that ready to go if I want to use it. So that's one thing you could do. And you could add multiple sounds, although you probably don't need them. You can search for sounds. And right now it says it's not finding anything. Again, because we're free, those sounds are sometimes kind of limited. However, you can also upload files. So I'm going to upload some files that I've already pulled from a copyright-friendly source. You can see I already have one. So I'm going to go ahead and add another music clip. And again, because we're free, we don't have a ton of storage space. But for, again, our project, we can get the job done. So I'm going to press Upload to get that copyright-friendly piece of music. All right, so I'm going to select that file and upload it. And you'll see the uploading queue right here. And again, depending on the size of the sound clip or the music file, it may take just a moment. So we'll let that cook. And once it has successfully uploaded, you'll see a green box appear and that your media is ready. All right, so now we can go back to the DJ console. And now we can begin bringing in music into our library. To add that music or any other sounds that you need to import, you're going to go to Playlist and select Add. That will now bring up this queue where you can go and select media type. This also will give you access to a very limited library of some possible free music. The quickest way to get to your uploads is to click on Latest, and it will show the most recent files added. So I'm going to go ahead and select Add for that. But you can also see things that are in the library that you might want to use and test out that could possibly be part of your bumper music. And again, it's kind of a limited number, but you can test something out by pressing play. And again, it may take a minute to queue up. And if you like that, again, you can press Add. And I'll put that into the playlist queue. And when you're done working with the playlist pad or queue, then press Close to get back to the recording or DJ console. So as you can see here, this is your microphone. And you can adjust the volume. You can kind of work with the quality. You can mute it here if you want to do that. Then you can add sounds or music to the two different decks that we have available here. So you can just drag those over to where you want them to be. Just bring them in. And again, depending on your internet connection, it may take just a minute. Alright, so I now have my music in the appropriate decks where I want everything arranged. And to begin recording, we are not going to broadcast live, but instead we're going to record this as a track. So the recorder is here, and when you're ready, you can press that to begin recording, and then you can use the play buttons to cue up your bumper music. You can also use the volume slider to fade in or fade out, as it would be with your bumper music here. If you want to play a sound effect, then you just press on that there kind of icon to play it. So let me just demonstrate for you a sample recording. Alright, so let's do a sample recording. I'm going to press the record button. And again, it may take just a moment to queue up. Now I am on the air, so I'm recording, and now we can get started. So I'm going to begin my bumper music. Welcome to Miss Hamilton's podcast. Today we're going to be talking about meteorology, and our special guest is Brad Nitz from WSB TV, Channel 2 in Atlanta. All right. Let's give it up for Brad Nitz. And so now I'm interviewing, I'm doing a brilliant podcast, and now we're going to be getting ready to wrap up the podcast. So we want to thank our special guest, Brad Nitz, for being with us. Thank you for your time and expertise. Next week, join us as we continue our podcast series exploring meteorology and weather in Georgia. Our special guest next week will be Kirk Mellish of WSB 750 AM. Everyone have a great week. And again, you get the idea. That's kind of a rough version. But those are the basic principles for working with the web-based DJ console. And you can actually preview. So here's the player. Now I am on the air, so I'm recording, and now we can get started. So I'm going to begin my bumper music. Welcome to Miss Hamilton's podcast. Today we're going to be talking about meteorology, and our special guest is Brad Nitz from WSB TV, Channel 2 in Atlanta. All right. Let's give it up for Brad Nitz. And so now I'm interviewing, I'm doing a brilliant podcast, and now we're going to be getting ready to wrap up the podcast. So we want to thank our special guest, Brad Nitz, for being with us. Thank you for your time and expertise. Next week, join us as we continue. And again, you get the idea. You can preview it. And notice too, I didn't demonstrate this, but you do have this slider to help you bring that music in smoothly. So you can adjust that volume, and that does also work for the sound effects if you want to throw in a little bit of audience clapping. You don't have to do that though. Once you have done your recording, then you're going to select Publish. And it'll take just a moment to do that, and then it will go to your profile. It's published. Now we're ready to go. You could go in and edit that title if you wanted to do that. In this case, I'm just going to leave it as is. And click on the hyperlink. I don't want to put it on Facebook. And now you could actually play it. Now I am on the... And please note, obviously this is a rough recording. You want to be prepared to begin your script as soon as you get the recording going in your music. Because this will work best if you can capture the speaking in one fell swoop. there are ways to other applications we could have used to edit the speaking, but if you can rehearse and have your script, I think you can get your podcast recorded in one clean effort and not have to worry about trying to edit sound files, because that can get really a little bit cumbersome. So again, my podcast is sitting here. It's added to my queue. You can get the URL from up here if you'd like to do that. You can also grab it from here, and there are sharing buttons that you can use. And again, right now my screen's a little chopped off, but those are the basics. We could also embed this in a web-based place if we wanted to, but at this time right now, the URL will work for us to share that in our Edmodo classrooms. So that's a quick overview of how the DJ console works in Spreaker. If you need assistance, please let Ms. Hamilton know, and she'll be glad to help you with any aspect of recording your podcast. Thank you.